Ladies and gentlemen, NFL Week 7 is here. We got the pregame show, prop bets for every single game this week in NFL Week 7. And of course, Shane's fantasy football starts and sits. Week 7's here, buddy. Almost halfway through the year. Time flies when you're having a good
Does
time.
not feel like it whatsoever.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, let's hop right into the first game here. Giants take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of the most heavily bet dogs of the year so far. Giants come in getting 3 points in Jacksonville. Right now, they're getting 79% of the bets at plus three, but 80% of the money and 83% of the bets at the plus money dog here today.
When the line doesn't make sense, the you take the other team.
The weird
Why the
side.
Giants being +3 makes no sense to me. So they're saying if it was in New York, it's a pick 'em. I don't know what the Jaguars have shown for this to be a pick 'em. Um, I that just makes me think the Jaguars win the game. I always pick against the Giants like every week, but it's just how this is going to work.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a ugly game today in Jacksonville. Again, weird line, go the weird way in my opinion. We do have a prop here today in this one. It is Trevor Lawrence under 222 and a half passing yards. The Giants defensively rank top 10 or actually top 5 this year in opponent quarterback completion percentage, which is a pretty surprising stat for me. I thought their front seven would be better defensively than their back corners and safeties. Um, Fifth against the pass in completion percentage. They're ninth in opponent yards per pass, sixth in opponent passing passes per game. They're eighth in opponent passing yards per game. So they're not allowing huge plays to happen in the air. So I think both teams are going to try to run the ball a lot today. Like I said, low, slow. I think this goes under pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't see a lot happening in this game. It's going to be run, 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 run.
On the other side, though, Jacksonville top 3 run defense so far this year. I think Saquon, that prop is at 70 something. I think it could go under today.
I think it's at
Um,
76 last time
yeah,
I.
I think it's a little high. I think it gets in the high 60s, low 70s. If that's another prop you guys want to look at. I think it's just be a low scoring game, like 17-14. I think could be that low, 21-17 type of game, but not a game I look forward to watching today. Next one, moving right along. Detroit Lions take on Dallas Cowboys and the return of Dak Prescott today. I just saw some sharp money come in on Lions at +7. It's up to it was at +7, now down 6.5 right now, -105. 60% of the money on the Lions with the points, 44% of the bets. Cowboys getting put in a lot of parlays today. 75% of the money, 82% of the bets at the -275 money line.
I mean, I don't know if they cover, but I think the Cowboys should be able to handle themselves here. The Lions are like after like the first couple of weeks where we thought that they were potentially like, oh, are they going to be the surprise team of the year? They've fallen back down to earth. They're still the Lions. Dak's back. I think he doesn't really have that many issues getting used to throwing the football again. Lions have the worst defense in the league, if not second worst. It's them and the Seahawks. Um, I don't see in Jared Goff's gonna have an issue with Micah Parsons in his face every play. So I don't see any way the Lions could potentially keep this even close. And DeAndre
Um,
Swift's out, so
yeah, he's out
that hurts.
again, unfortunately. Hurts my fantasy team. But yeah, I'm not touching the points of the spread here this game. I do have a prop that I like a lot, though. And I'm usually not on this dude too often, especially early in the year. But Zeke anytime touchdown at -120, I think is a pretty good price. I believe it jumped up a little bit to -130 this morning. But some stats for you on the Lions defense, like Shane said, atrocious this year. 32nd in the league in opponent rushing touchdowns per game, 32nd in the league in opponent rushing yards a game, 28th in rushes per game opponent wise, 30th in opponent's yards per rush at 5.5. It's gross. Touchdowns this year, they've allowed 8 the first 5 games, 4 in the past 3 weeks. I think Zeke gets in there pretty easily. Maybe Powell and Zeke, maybe.
yeah, they'll probably find themselves at the goal line a fair bit, or a few times and then just give it to Zeke.
Stuff that motherfucker right at the end zone. Stuff it. Maybe Zeke get 2. That's probably a good price too at plus probably 220, 230. Shane also has a prop in this one of his 3 today. Dalton Schultz over 29.5 receiving yards. Tight end coming back from an injury against this Lions team.
He has a connection with Dak. We've seen it the past like years or so, and even like the one game Dak played this year, Dalton Schultz was the guy being targeted. He's pretty much just a safety blanket for them, which a lot of tight ends are. It is National Tight Ends Day, so there's going to probably be a lot of stuff with tight ends. It's going to happen.
Lions averaging 5 catches and 62.8 yards to tight ends this year. That's not great. Last 2 weeks they've allowed 11 catches and over 110 yards to tight ends. So look for a possible show out for Schultz today in his first, hopefully healthy stint this year with Dak coming back as well. Moving along, Falcons best team ATS wise this year takes on the Bengals here in Cincinnati. Lines at 6.5. I believe the public now sharps are on Bengals today. It looks like short. 55% of the money, 42% of the bets on the Bengals. They're also, of course, Bengals putting in some parlays at 81% of the money, 80% of the bets on the huge money line.
I think with the Falcons, it's like you keep riding the train until it's over. They just are covering. They are the covering machines in the league. I just don't see how you don't think they cover in situations because they've been able to cover in games that they realistically like shouldn't have, but they still are. So I'll just keep riding the hot hand, I think, right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a thorn in people's sides. They were a thorn on my side last week with San Fran. Had them in the first half, started out awful. They're just one of those teams that I think is always going to keep it somewhat close, but not, not maybe not win the games, but somewhat close in these games, especially in these teams where they're getting 6.5, 7 points. So, buy it to 7, buy it to 7.5, make you feel a little more comfortable. I bet they're going to be in some teasers today too, both sides probably. I got 2 props here in this one. Marcus Mariota over 34.5 rushing yards at basically a pick 'em at minus 105. Last week, the Bengals gave up 58 yards to Lamar, averaged 4.8 yards a carry for him. I think that translates into today's game as well. Cincinnati's run defense coming into today, they're 20th in opponent rushing yards a game at 121. A little surprising for me. I thought they'd be a little better. They're also giving up 4.7 yards per rush too. So I think Mariota's going to have trouble passing the ball today, which will lead into my next prop. But I think he scrambles a little bit today and, tries to make whatever he can out of, 3rd and long, scrambles out of the pocket. I think 34.5 is pretty short. So I think 40 plus should be his range today. Next one is Drake London under 3.5 receptions. This dude coming out, I think he had a lot, expectations wise to have a good year for them. His last 4 games, he's gotten the targets. He's gotten 7+ targets, but he's only had 3 catches or 4 catches or more once in the past 4 games. Cincinnati also ranks top 5 in opponent completion percentage, where I think Marcus Mariota is going to struggle a little bit today in the aspect of throwing the football. Cincinnati against the pass this year, let's see. They are 6th in opponent yards per pass. They're number 1 in opponent completion percentage at 56.6, which is not a good matchup for Marcus today, I think. So I like Drake London under 3.5 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my mouse is malfunctioning. Next game. Tom Brady must-win situation takes on Carolina and my boy P.J. Walker. 13-point
boy.
spread.
He's nobody's boy.
I like him. 13-point spread. It was 11, jumped up to 13. Public on the Bucks, of course. 70% of the money, 58% of the bets on the spread, 88% of the money, 92% of the bets on the money line and parlay situations. Sharps from the under here at 39.5. That's just a low number. Jeez, it's that low.
The Panthers can't score points, so. And
I
now
agree.
they don't have McCaffrey, who was their entire offense last week. So what happens now? It's Deonta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba's yards are at 29.5.
See, this is going to lead into something for my starts and sits little teaser. I don't think Chuba's the starter.
Yeah, Foreman. Yeah, I figured that when I saw it that low. Bucks obviously must win. Do they cover is the question. I'm not touching this spread. 13, no way.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no way.
One
This
little.
game, nothing is
Sorry, go
being
ahead.
touched. No, I'm not touching a single prop or anything in this game.
So I have
don't
a
think this
prop,
game.
but I also like the under here, and it's an automatic under. Whenever you see a spread that's 10 or more, last 2 years, the
You
under
just,
hits
yeah.
60% of the time. It happened again with Pittsburgh and Buffalo. It happened last week with the Pittsburgh and Bucks game. It happened last week with the Rams and Panthers game. It's not automatic, obviously, but it's a good look at spot. Buy it up to 40, 21-10, 21-10, 24-10 type of game. I think it's in that realm of possibility. My prop today, Brady under 263.5, and this is not a shade on Brady. It's just I think they're gonna run the ball a lot today against this Panthers defense. Panthers have been pretty good against the pass this year, only allowing 231.5 on average to quarterbacks. Only quarterback who's put over 300 on them was Jameis in week 3. Last week, Stafford put up 250, Jimmy put up 250, and Kyler put up 207. Last 3 weeks, Brady has not been looking like Brady, obviously. 263 just seems like a lot. He probably gets 250, 240. I think Fournette runs the ball a lot today, especially second half, and they should be up a decent amount.
Yeah, they probably get the rookie Rashad White a good amount of touches in this game because they should have this game firmly in their grasp by the middle of the third quarter, I would say. So it's just let the young guys play. Maybe a Kyle Trask sighting?
Could be. Next game, divisional rival. Browns take on the Ravens today. Browns come in 6.5-point favorites, getting 53% of the money, 60% of the bets. So you do see some sharps coming in on the Browns at plus 6.5, plus 7. The over, probably the most bet over today at 45.5. 62% of the money, 63% of the bets, and the over 45.5. And of course, the Ravens. Getting that parlay action as well at 86% of the money, 86% of the bets at minus 265.
I'm done with the Browns.
I'm done with both these teams. I think Ravens at home, 1-2 coming in. 10-6 last 16 at home is a favorite. Not great. I think Ravens win. Do I think the Browns keep it somewhat competitive? I don't know. I mean, the Ravens have a pretty good run defense. Browns, they have Jacoby Brissett right now, who basically is good for a pick a game at this point. Maybe the divisional under. I don't know. I like the Ravens to win. I don't know if they cover though.
Yeah, the Browns have burned me too many times this season, so I am until Deshaun Watson's back. If he's back, I'm staying away from the Browns.
I agree. My prop today, Lamar Jackson over 51.5 rushing yards. I don't know how you can't take this right now. He's playing at an MVP level. He's running the ball. The thing with Lamar is though he's giving up on runs. He's not pushing himself anymore. You can see him like give up. You see the defender, he gives up. He's not pushing for extra yards. It's just the Browns' run defense, man.
I think
bad.
a part of that is because like Lamar got hurt last year. He doesn't want to get hurt again, so he's trying to really preserve himself. And this is his like prove it contract year, which I mean he should have been paid at this point. But I think he's just trying to preserve himself for even just the offseason if he doesn't get paid so he can get the bag.
Browns defense, 26th opponent yards per rush at 5. Sheesh. They're also 31st in opponent rushing touchdowns a game, only behind the Lions. Not great. Not great.
Sprinkle in Lamar anytime touchdown, maybe.
I like that too. Yep. I think big game for Lamar here. Show out game. Next game. My mouse cooperates. Oh God. Packers at Commanders.
Big Taylor Heineke game.
Taylor Heineke. Commanders at plus 4.5, getting absolutely no respect. 24% of the money, 24% of the bets on the Commanders. Going to be a big need for the books here. Packers, huge public as always. -4.5, getting 76% of the bets, 76% of the money. Sharps on the under here at 41.5. I can see why both these offenses have been atrocious to start the year. 63% of the bets, 63% of the money, 46% of the bets. Packers, huge parlay and teaser liabilities again today. I'm going to call an upset. Washington money line. I'm going to call it. Plus
I
170.
I don't know if I
I
can go
don't care.
far.
I
I
don't
think I can
care.
have. I see them covering. I don't see them winning.
It's down to 4 now. It just moved to 4 as we speak. As we're speaking, down to
I
4.
think a little backdoor cover.
Ugh, what a
I
gross
am
game.
good. I will say this. I am more worried about the Commanders beating or keeping it really close with the Packers with Taylor Heineke than I am with Carson Wentz. I think this offense is built more for Taylor Heineke than Carson Wentz. This isn't supposed to be a spread, just run the ball deep kind of offense. They run a lot of RPOs with Taylor Heineke in the game. Keep it short, get it out of the ball, get his hands off the ball fast. Let the playmakers do what they can. So I think that'll help keep it more close than I think Carson Wentz, because Carson Wentz is due to throw a pick or two a game at this rate. So I think this is better for them. Maybe I hope eventually we can see Sam Howell play. I want to see if he can be their potential guy. So then they don't have to go take a quarterback potentially with a top 5 pick.
All right. Get out that trash game. We'll go into a prop. Romeo Doubs over 48.5 receiving yards. Obviously the clear number 1 right now for Aaron Rodgers. Sorry.
Yeah, the Commanders can't stop like number 1 receivers to save their life. They just let Darnell Mooney go off of them. They let a Bears receiver go off on him. William Jackson, I'm pretty sure, still isn't playing. I think he just wants out. Benjamin St. Just. Are we serious here? St. Just?
Great name.
Yeah, not good play.
Not good play. Great name. All right, another divisional matchup today. The Colts, must-win game for them, I think, too, against Tennessee. Probably must-win game for both these teams. The public absolutely is crushing the books on Tennessee right now. 70% of the money, 70% of the bets. Same on the money line at -135. Sharps are on the under pretty heavy. One of the most sharpest plays today is the under 41.5. 80% of the money, but only 40% of the bets. I have a VIP play on this one today, so I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, and I'm gonna let Shane go at this one.
I'm on the Colts in this game, which is probably gonna surprise you because you think I'm a Tennessee Titans mark.
No,
but
go ahead.
The Titans struggle at defending the pass. The Colts have shown to be a pass first team. Matt Ryan's throwing like 38 times a game, which is more than what he was doing with Atlanta. I mean, that may have been in part with Taylor being out a little bit, but Taylor even when in, he hasn't been able to do a lot because this offensive line's atrocious.
Yep.
I still think it's a close game, but I think that they still find a way to squeak this out. Probably like 23-21 or something like that, or along those lines.
Yeah, it's two total opposite defenses here today. I mean, the Titans' defense has been getting slaughtered by quarterbacks.
But they're good at stopping like the run, though.
Yeah, and the Colts aren't. So the last 4 weeks, they've given up 317, 303, 356, and 359 to Derek Carr, Matt Ryan, and Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Sheesh. Colts, one of the best, surprisingly, I say surprising, I think it's surprising. One of the best teams against the pass this year, which will lead into my prop today for you guys. Colts defense against the pass, they're fifth in so they have the 5th most plays ran against them, but they're also top 15 in opponent yards per pass. They're top 10 in opponent passing yards per game. They have the 9th most sacks against quarterbacks. What are the Titans' downfalls right now? Line and quarterback play, in my opinion. Tannehill is not getting the ball out quick enough. He's under 200 yards like the past 3 weeks, I think it is. I think Colts get to him today. And I told my guys yesterday, If the Colts get out to a lead of 10-0, I think the game's over. Because 10-0, 13-0, if you get out to a lead that big and you get the ball in Tannehill's hands to go down and get a touchdown throwing the ball, especially late in that game, I don't think he can do it. I'll just get into the prop right here. Ryan Tannehill under 220.5 passing yards, kind of like the Lawrence play. I think they're going to rely heavily on Henry because they know if they drop back the pass a lot in this game, they're not going to win. Because I think the Colts are going to pass the ball 40 times today against that awful Titans secondary. It's just so bad. I've said for the past 2 years now, they haven't upgraded at all.
They just have young guys developing right now, so there's going to be growing.
Developing into what? Shit?
I mean,
it's not good.
They have Caleb Farley, who this is his first real season because he had his ACL torn last year. I mean, they have Byard there, who's just kind of the vet guy there. There's one solid piece in the secondary. Amani Hooker isn't. I mean, he's right now, and then Fulton is again still growing pains. He's only 23.
I mean, they lost. Who did they lose to the Cowboys last? I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know what
Cowboys secondary. I gotta look it up now.
I don't know what you're on about. I don't think Malik Hooker was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
No, I thought Malik Hooker was on the.
Oh, he's the Colts. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Dummy. But yeah, I think this could be gross for the Titans here. I like the Colts. I'm gonna say, all right. There's your free VIP play. Colts money line plus 115, 3-unit play. I love the Colts today. Love it. Not my big play today. I have a big play. It's 5-unit pick of the day. Colts, I'm going to give out for free just now because I just spilled the beans. Colts are my play. This is 1 o'clock window. I love the Colts today. Love it. Jets at the Broncos. Another gross game, Shane. Jets, of course, playing – what's his name, Shane?
You mean the Broncos? You want me to say the Broncos quarterback, don't you?
Yeah, I want you to say his name.
Brett Rippon.
Okay, him. They're playing that guy. Jets getting 70% of the money at -1.5, 77% of the bets. They're also getting 85% of the money, 81% of the bets at -120. Another sharp under here, under 37 for the sharp guys.
Broncos money line.
Broncos. That's got to be.
You know who? Brett Rippon has started one game in his career and won. You know who he beat? The Jets.
It's got to be the Broncos, dude. So again, we talk about line. You have to read the lines, right? This isn't a blind pick'em contest. This is reading the lines, reading what Vegas is telling you. There is no way in hell this Jets team, who just beat the Packers, okay? And the Packers with Aaron Rodgers are who they are right now. They're not that great, but they're still Aaron Rodgers, still the Packers, still Matt LaFleur. They just beat them in Lambeau. And you're going to tell me that this Broncos team, who had 11 yards passing in the second half, is a 2-point dog at home against the Jets? Come on now. Broncos money line plus 105.
I think this is like a 13-10 game.
Book it. Book it.
I think
a 7-3 game. It's going to be so ugly.
Broncos will score a touchdown in their first drive of the game, and then it'll just be ugly from there.
So ugly. Leads into my prop. Zach Wilson under a half a touchdown. Yes. Plus 165. Book it. This dude ain't throwing the ball at all today. Okay? This Broncos secondary, or Broncos defense in general, top 3? What do you say, Shane?
I would say they're at worst top 5. At worst.
Okay. Let's look at the Broncos real quick. Broncos against starting quarterbacks. Last 3 weeks, Shane, how many touchdowns have they given up?
What, 0?
0. Three touchdowns all year. They've given up 1 in the past 4 weeks to Jimmy G, Derek Carr, and Matt Ryan. Oh, and last week, who did they play last week? Oh, Justin Herbert.
First game without a passing touchdown.
And what was the boost on DraftKings last week? Oh, Justin Herbert scored a touchdown. All right. So this Broncos defense is legit. Okay? It's legit. Like I've been saying all year. Under half a touchdown pass, plus 165. Holy value. This is going to be a Michael Carter game if they're going to try to.
You mean Breece Hall?
Breece Hall. His yards are at 70.5 today. That's a little high, I think. A little high. 70?
I mean, he's been able to do it the past 2 weeks, but
Broncos.
I don't know. The Broncos are too good of a defense, I think.
Running backs against the Broncos, 64 last week, 105 with the Colts. That was without Taylor. Josh Jacobs did have a good game against them. Now, I think that was his big game, I believe.
Yeah, that was. But that's also a division game. I'm gonna not take full.
Yeah. Seahawks 62 yards, Texans 69, and these are all the running backs combined, not just the starter. And Niners 82. I don't think he gets to 70 today. This is an ugly game, man.
I think Breece Hall is gonna get involved a lot, like in that Christian McCaffrey type role. He's gonna catch like seven balls for like 40 yards or something like that.
I can see that. So maybe take his no, not combine it. Maybe it's catches. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe receptions or just receiving yards in general.
All right, moving along. Texans Raiders come in, another 6.5 point line here today. I've heard the public is all over the Raiders today. Not too much, not a lot of money on this game because it's probably one of the least interesting games in the slate. But I've seen some sharps come in on the Texans at 7. It dropped to 6.5 just now. Raiders, one of the most bet teams in parlays today. 91% of the money at -25, 88% of the bets. I'm calling the upset here, Shane.
I have the Texans winning this game.
Woo, we're on the same page today, buddy. Texans money line plus 245, upset alert. I think this team's a dumpster fire. Dumpster fire, Raiders.
I've been saying it since the last offseason. I think the Raiders stink. I don't think Josh McDaniels is built to be a head coach. I don't think Derek Carr can win you shit as a quarterback. Bringing Devontae Adams only hurt your offense, I think, in my opinion.
So do I.
The defense is even worse. You traded your number one corner away for nothing. You have Chandler Jones looks like one of the worst free agent signings of all time right now. He's doing nothing. He's probably cut at the end of the year, or no, probably next year.
Depending on his contract,
he might get traded. He might get traded.
Yeah.
Like if the Raiders are going to be on a sell mode and there's a team that needs pass rush, they'll trade him.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't like anything about this Raiders team.
Dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. Texans, my prop today. One thing about this Raiders defense, it's been not good all year, obviously. Out of the backfield, it's because of their shitty linebackers, okay? Rex Burkhead, receiving's at 17.5 today, okay? Raiders out of the backfield have allowed 56, 49, 88, 8, and 39, an average of 48 yards to the running backs out of the backfield, averaging 5.6 yards a catch. Whew, 17.5. Give me that all day.
Probably gets one catch.
Dude, we're on fire today, dude. We're on fire. Liking everything. I like that. All right. Chiefs and the 49ers.
Yeah,
talk about game of the year.
That's where you lose me.
All right. Game of the year. Game of the year last year. I mean, last week with the Bills and Chiefs. I was on the wrong side. Okay. Shane, we're going to skip the analysis on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to skip it. Because I have a monster play in this game right here. Monster play. We're going to go right into a touchdown prop, though. Jimmy G over 1.5 touchdown passes. I think if you're gonna beat this Chiefs team today, you're gonna have to keep up. Okay, you're gonna have to keep up with the god over there and Pat Mahomes. Jimmy G is gonna throw 3 touchdown passes today. Okay, he's gonna throw 3, 2 to Samuel. I'm calling it right now. Versus the Chiefs. Okay, opposing quarterbacks have had. It's just passing touchdowns. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Now, they have played some really good quarterbacks this year. They've played Kyler Murray, Herbert, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Derek Carr, and of course Josh Allen last week. But I think Jimmy G gets over 1.5 pretty easily today.
I can see him getting 2. Very easily.
I like the 2. It is priced up a little bit now. I think it's at -140 on some books. I got it last night at -120. I think Jimmy G has a day. I'm not going to say anything else. So I have a big play in this one. If you want it, hit me up at GoGetEmSports. I'll give it to you free if you said you came from the show today. 4:00 game, get to me by 3:30, and it's yours.
I have a note.
I love this game.
Fantasy-wise about this game. If you have Deebo Samuel, I want you to sell him.
Ooh.
Christian McCaffrey coming into this offense, I think the biggest hit's going to be to Debo. He's not going to see as much production. So I would try to scrape up what you can for him. I wasn't big on Debo coming into the season to begin with, and now that you're adding a player that's somewhat similar to him, like he's a guy that Christian McCaffrey, you could just put in the slot and nobody's gonna bat an eye. He'll probably he's gonna see some action today, so I don't touch anything about him prop related in my opinion because he could just play like 2 snaps. But I don't. I think everybody's gonna take a hit, like at least a slight hit on this offense. Obviously, adding a new toy, but I think Debo gets hurt the most. I don't think any Debo backfield action you thought you were gonna see, I think is completely gone. So now you just have Debo as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this earlier this week. I'm not a huge fan of the addition. That's all I'm going to say about this one, but not a huge fan of it. I think the 49ers really didn't get much better with it. Don't think they really needed them, in my opinion. And they gave up some draft picks that they're probably going to need, in my opinion. But
well, they're not
great
big
game.
until like the 5th, so
yeah. Well, now, yeah. 4:25 Eastern. Get to me by 3:30. It's yours. Moving on. Seahawks at the Chargers. This is a gross line. -5. Let's see. Talk about some money. Money. Come on. There we go. Chargers. Gonna be a need for the books today. Seahawks at +4.5, getting 62% of the money, 60% of the bets. One of the most publicly bet dogs this year has been the Seahawks. The Sharps are surprisingly on the over today at 50.5. It's up to 51 now in some books. And of course, Chargers and multiple parlay liabilities today.
I think this is where the Chargers start kicking in the next gear. They were a team that coming into the season we thought they were going to compete to win the division. They're 4-2 right now, so they're very much in the race with the Chiefs. Keenan Allen's going to be back. I think he might be back this week, if not next week. So they're going to get their number one guy back. They've been able to put up points without him. Defensively, they're still banged up overall in their team, but eventually they'll have Joey Bosa back. Come playoff time, he'll be there. The big one. They're going to be without Slater, which sucks, but their offensive line has been able to kind of hold up. Herbert's getting healthier week after week with his ribs. It's not going to be something that just goes away. It's going to be still a lingering issue, but it's just going to get better every week, unless he takes a big shot, which you can't just predict that. Mm-hmm. Seahawks defense is absolutely atrocious.
Woo! Bad.
I don't know if this is a hot take. A lot of people think that they would take quarterback in the draft. I don't think they take quarterback. I think they're going defense. They're going to give Geno hasn't done anything to show that like he shouldn't be their starter.
Agreed.
So I think they would at least ride it one more. Even this year is a big quarterback class, and they're projected to almost have like 2 top 10 picks at this rate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this defense needs a serious revamping. And how do you do that? You bring in 2 top 10 guys, and from this draft, go get like a defensive lineman and a guy in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Helps you critically. They do have Tariq Woolen, who's been playing like a monster. He's getting a lot of comparisons to Richard Sherman, not only because of
I saw that, yep.
Because of where he got drafted, like his size. He's got 4 picks on the year. I think he has like 6 turnovers overall already. He's in that race for defensive rookie of the year. He is like 6'3", 6'4", and ran a 4.2.
Crazy.
And he's guarding people.
Yeah.
I think that Seahawks seem to be good at drafting like later round guys. They suck at drafting early.
Yeah.
But they're good at finding those late round guys. They're kind of, you might not like this, they're kind of like the Patriots. The Patriots are good at finding those late round guys, but early in the draft, they stink.
I agree.
Yeah,
prop today, Shane. Austin Eckler over 56.5, okay? No Joshua Kelly. He's out. So it's going to be him basically getting most of the carries.
Him and Michelle are the main 2.
Yeah. Michelle mostly, I think, going to be mostly third and short type of back today. Seattle defense, like we said, total bad. Real bad. 5.1 opponent yards rushed. That's good for 28th in the league. Rushing yards per game, looking at 165.8. That's 31st in the league. Also 29th in rushing touchdowns. I think Eckler gets in for 2 today. 2 tutties. Look at running backs against the Seahawks the last couple of weeks. Cardinals didn't do much on the ground because they're mostly behind and either tied or behind most of the game. I think Kyler had over 100 yards rushing in that game last week, so he was most of the backfield. 119, 141, 175, 118, 100. Averaging 116.33 yards given up on the ground. I think it's going to be a big Eckler game today on the ground, especially if the Chargers get up a little bit. So I think Eckler getting 65, 70 today. Pretty easily done.
Yeah.
All right. The return of
No, that's messed up.
Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa plays tonight. Sunday Night Football. Not a great game. Let's look at the money tonight. Plus 7.5 for the Steelers, getting 45% of the bets, 56% of the bets, 45% of the money. Looks like Dolphins got some sharp play at 55% of the money, 44% of the bets. It's not going to be a huge need for the books today for the Dolphins and the Steelers. Kind of not a really high bet game. Sharps on the over a little bit at 44.5. I have no clue.
Give me the
Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Give me Pittsburgh. Yeah. I still think Tua's being rushed in too fast. I think if between him and Dak, who's going to be able to show more rust, I think it is Tua. Tua got knocked unconscious. So, and their defense looks absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. You think, oh man, they got Xavier Howard. That should be a really good secondary. Wrong. They're getting gashed week in and week out. We just saw the Steelers be able to throw the ball against the Bucs, and the Bucs are good at defending the pass this year. Mitchell Trubisky was able to get like 3rd and longs all day long. Now, do I think that this is a high-scoring game? No, I don't think it's a high-scoring game. Even though the Steelers' defense is both defenses have shown to be kind of sucky, I don't think quarterback play is going to be enough to lift them up to get a lot of points. So I'm leaning under, and I like the Steelers.
Well, Shane, my prop today is going to go right into your analysis of this game today. Kenny Pickett over 223.5 passing against this Miami team. If you look at quarterbacks against the Miami secondary, give me 1 second. They've allowed 175 last week to Kirk, who had an awful game. 210, 287, 400, 318, 213 versus Mac in the week 1. But their defense overall against the pass has been, I believe, one of the worst. And let me just.
They're down there. They were ranked 32 for a little bit. They might be like high 20s now.
They are averaging 7.5 yards per pass to opponent quarterback, which is good for 28th. They're 24th in opponent passing yards a game at 256.5. They also give up, let's see, 25th best or 25th worst opponent completion percentage at 67.8. Gross. So I like Kenny Pickett here. Not to have a huge game. I mean, 223.5. That's not a huge game. 230, 240. I think he gets there pretty easily. That's 110.5, dude. I think it's pretty simple. I think it could be a late close game down the stretch, and he's got throw the ball to win the game. And I think it's gonna be a close game. I think he gets 250 today. 250, a touchdown, maybe a pick. Mm-hmm. So, my Patriots Monday Night Football, first primetime game of the year. Patriots take on the dreadful Chicago Bears. Patriots up to -8 now, getting 73% of the money, 70% of the bets. Big parlay liability here, 86% of the money, 87% of the bets. Looks like the books are going to need the over and the Bears on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick is going to make Justin Fields shit his pants on Monday. So I just don't touch it. Like I don't know who in the right mind would want to bet a Patriots Bears game. I don't know who wants to watch that, especially on primetime. It's the only game on television, and you're making me have to watch Justin Fields against Mac Jones.
Justin Fields again. I don't know why. Whoever sets up these primetime games, scheduling wise, needs to get fired. So bad.
I
We're
mean, the Bears
not
were
gonna.
projected to be like one of the worst teams coming into the league, so I
I
don't
know.
know.
I don't get it.
And then giving them, I mean, you're not gonna like this. The Patriots aren't like an exciting team to watch because they're like a
No,
defense
but
gritty
I
team
understand why they're on primetime. People are gonna watch
because
the
of
Patriots
Bill.
game. Yeah.
But you
But
could
not
have
too
picked
much.
anybody but the Bears.
Yeah, I agree. Not too much to talk about here in this one. I think the Patriots win. I think they cover. I don't know. 8 points is just a weird line. I think maybe a backdoor by the Bears late in the game. Maybe I don't know. Book's gonna need them. We usually fade the public in prime time, so right now it'd probably be the Bears plus 8, 8.5, maybe. I don't know. Tease them with the over, I guess. I don't know. My bet for Monday is Ramondre to get in. Bears defense against the run, not too shabby, but not great. Versus the Bears, running backs have got in, let's see, 3 times in the past 2 games, 5 times all year. I think it's going to be a run-heavy game for Ramondre. Even with Harris back, he's not going to be 100%. Even if he is back, I don't know if they've announced it yet. But I think they're going to take some of the pressure off the quarterback in this one, either if it's Mac especially. But Bailey has handled the ball off a lot past couple of games. Ramondre has had pretty good games past 2 weeks. I think he gets in maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times against this Bears defense. So I
3.
like him.
Whoa.
Could be.
Whoa.
I like Ramondre a lot. Minus 120. All right, Shane. Start and sit. Let's hear it.
All right, I'm starting Dak Prescott this week. Everybody's being like, "Oh man, he's gonna be rusty." Blah blah blah. There's literally a report that just came out while we were doing this show that he made 100% of his throws pregame. So I don't think Russ is going to be a factor. I think he can still sling it. He's playing against the Lions, who stink. So I'm perfectly fine starting Dak Prescott. If you drafted Dak Prescott, you don't really have a better option at quarterback. I mean, I guess if you picked up Geno, but I would still rather start Dak than Geno. I have Deontay Foreman as a start if you're needy at running back. A lot of people want to jump to Chuba Hubbard because he's the younger guy. They drafted him. Blah blah blah. He's Canadian. Canadians playing football, I don't think are that good. But Deontay Foreman, I think, is the main, or he will be the main back. He's seen more touches this season than Chuba Hubbard. He played well for the Titans last season in lieu of Derrick Henry being injured. I think he's the clear cut number 2. I think you see Chuba Hubbard coming down like third, maybe passing downs or some passing downs, but I think Deontay Foreman is the guy. Romeo Dubs, we had a prop from earlier in the day. I think he's a start this week. He's getting all the targets, and it's an injured wide receiver room for the Packers, so that just means more opportunity. Staying on the Packers, Robert Tonyan, if you have him, I'm starting him. National Tight End Day. This time last year, the Commanders and the Packers played each other. Robert Tonyan had 17 fantasy points. I want to just run that train again. The Commanders' defense stinks in all facets. And someone's got to catch the ball. I think Dubs and Tonyan are the main 2 guys. I think you see a little bit of Lazard. I don't think Lazard is going to be the huge yard guy because he's going to be seeing Kendall Fuller. But I still like Dubs and Tonyan. And then the Jaguars' defense against the Giants. Giants can't pass the ball. As a Giants fan, I know this. They can stop the run. So I don't know if the Giants can really move the ball a whole lot. I don't know if they're going to get turnovers, but they're not going to allow points. I think they can get pressure on Daniel Jones. So that's enough to get a good amount of points this week in fantasy. Sits Jared Goff. The Lions are falling back down to earth. They're playing against the Cowboys, who are a top defense in the league. Jared Goff's going to get pressured a lot. I see this probably being similar to him stat-wise to what happened in the Patriots game. I don't know if he gets shut down to that extent, but I still think he's going to get shut down. Kenyon Drake. They activated Gus Edwards off of IR, so I don't know if he's going to get a huge amount of touches, but Kenyon Drake is supposed to be the starter. The Ravens' backfield is something hard to trust like every week if it's not Dobbins, so I'm going to stay away. Chase Claypool, I'm going to have sit. Yeah, he went off last week. With Kenny Pickett back, from what we have seen, he's kind of the odd guy out. He is in trade rumors right now. People are asking for they are apparently asking for a first round pick from absolute drugs people are on. I think Pickens Deontay Johnson and Freiermuth are the main three guys for Pickett, and I think it's shown in the past games. Claypool really only started going off last week when Mitchell Trubisky came into the game. Tyler Conklin, I have to say, he doesn't have a connection with Zach Wilson. It's showing 3 targets the last 2 weeks after having like over 20 the first 3 weeks of Joe Flacco. I think you can find a lot better options. I would prefer Greg Dulcich on the other side of this game to Tyler Conklin. And then the Colts defense I have as a set. I don't think they can take the ball away, and I think they can't muster enough pressure to get a good amount of sacks today. I think you can find better options on your waiver wire. If you had to see the Jaguars or the Giants, if the Jets are still there, go get them because they're playing against Brett Rippon. I think there's a lot more serviceable options than the Colts this week, especially with Kwity Paye and Shaq Leonard still out. They're not going to have like any pass rush, in my opinion, today. So that is my start and sits for week 7.
Good shit, Shane. Well done. Nice show today. Quick 48-minute show. Again, if you guys want the props for today, if you weren't here for the whole show, the show's recorded. You can scroll back on YouTube, scroll back on Twitter. I love these props today. We agreed on most of them. It's also good. Again, game of the week, Chiefs 49ers, all in, 5-unit pick of the day. Hit me up at GoGetEmSports. I have the winner for you. Okay, I have analysis for it. I have the winner. Might not agree on this one, Shane, but I love this play. We're just gonna leave it at that. So hit me up on Twitter if you want it. I'm also on Instagram. See you guys next week. Week 8. Peace.
See ya.